Imagine a forest, not of trees, but of 20,000 corpses rotting on stakes. A sultan so horrified he retreats in terror. A prince who dipped his bread in his victim's blood. This isn't fantasy. This is Vlad the Impaler, the real Dracula. But what if the stories of his death were a lie? What if the bloodthirsty monster still walks the Carpathian Mountains? The terrified villagers believe it, hanging garlic on their doors even now. Stay if you dare. Welcome to Mythseeker, where we hunt the truth behind legends. I'm your guide into the harrowing true story behind the world's most famous vampire, Vlad the Third. Dracula, Prince of Wallachia, known to history as Vlad Epish, Vlad the Impaler. Forget Hollywood's capes and charms. We're uncovering a 15th century warlord whose brutality defied belief. This is the story of how a prince became a monster, how history birthed myth, and why Romanian peasants still hang garlic on their doors centuries later. Born around 1431 in Transylvania's Sighisoara fortress, Vlad inherited more than a name. His father, Vlad II, earned the title Dracula, the dragon, from the Holy Roman Emperor for his fierce defense against Ottoman expansion. Young Vlad was Dracula, son of the dragon, but enemies whispered son of the devil. His childhood ended at age 11 when he and brother Radu were sent as hostages to the Ottoman court. For 6 years, Vlad endured beatings and psychological torture while witnessing Ottoman cruelty firsthand, including mass impalements. Meanwhile, Wallachian nobles, boyars, murdered his father and eldest brother Mircea in 1447. Mircea was blinded with hot irons and buried alive. This trauma of betrayal and captivity forged Vlad's iron will and bottomless hatred. After a failed 1448 coup, Vlad seized Wallachia's throne in 1456. His first act, inviting 500 treacherous boyars to an Easter feast. When the revelry peaked, his soldiers stormed the hall. The elderly were impaled immediately. The rest were marched 50 miles to rebuild Poenari Castle, a death march where hundreds perished. Those who survived were worked to death rebuilding his mountain fortress. Vlad perfected impalement as psychological warfare. Victims took hours or days to die. He arranged forests of corpses by rank, age, and even arranged concentric circles of impaled bodies around cities. When Sultan Mehmed II invaded in 1462 with 90,000 troops, he found 20,000 rotting Ottoman prisoners on stakes near Targovist. Contemporary chronicles report the Sultan, conqueror of Constantinople, vomited at the sight and retreated. If you're captivated by Vlad's terrifying reign, help us uncover more dark histories. Smash that like button and subscribe to Mythseeker. Your support fuels our journey into the unknown. Now, to the tragedy that may have birthed a vampire. Here's where history bleeds into myth. During Vlad's 1462 campaign, Ottoman agents spread false news of his death to his wife Elizabeta at Poenari Castle. Facing capture by Mehmed's troops, she leaped from the castle towers into the Argeș River rather than endure Ottoman slavery. When Vlad returned victorious, he found his beloved dead. Contemporary pamphlets describe his descent into madness. He impaled the messengers and nobles who failed to protect her, then allegedly drank their blood from goblets and dipped bread in their blood during feasts among the impaled. German broadsheets claimed this gave him demonic strength, whether literal or metaphorical. This became the core of the vampire legend, the moment a ruthless prince became something supernatural in his grief. After losing his throne to Radu, now allied with Ottomans, Vlad regained power briefly in 1476, but months later, he was ambushed near Bucharest. The accounts conflict. Some say Ottoman soldiers killed him. Others claim his own men stabbed him. mistaking him for a Turk. His head was sent to Constantinople, displayed on a stake, ironic fate for the Impaler. But his grave at Snegov Monastery, when opened in 1931, it contained only animal bones. Romanian folklore claims powerful souls can become strigoi, undead spirits needing blood. To this day, villagers near Ponari Castle hang garlic on doors against vampires. They whisper that Vlad's rage was too great for death to contain, that on moonless nights, he still wanders the mountains seeking vengeance. Vlad's atrocities spread through Europe via German pamphlets titled The Story of a Bloodthirsty Madman. When Bram Stoker researched his 1897 novel Dracula, he found the name Dracula in an 1820 book on Wallachia, noting it meant devil. Stoker knew nothing of Vlad's deeds, but the name's power inspired his immortal count. The true connection emerged in the 1970s when historians linked Vlad's blood rituals to vampire lore. The coincidence was irresistible. A blood-drinking tyrant named Son of the Devil from Transylvania's castles became fiction's greatest vampire. Reality had created something more terrifying than imagination. Vlad the Impaler, a strategic monster who used terror as a weapon until personal tragedy may have unleashed true darkness. History shows a brutal prince. Folklore claims an undead demon. The villagers' garlic suggests they believe the legend lives. What do you believe? Alive, if you think Vlad still haunts the Carpathians, or rest if the monster is finally dead. Comment below. Next week on Mythseeker, we investigate the heel of Achilles. Prepare for a revelation that rewrites history. Subscribe and hit the bell. You won't want to miss what we found out. Until next time, sleep with your windows closed.